Hi there. In this video we are going to be taking a really quick look at this Rowenta Advanced hair clipper with titanium reinforced blades. And yeah, it's a lithium powered one that says that it lasts for about 120 minutes. Not sure if it lasts that much, but I can tell you for a fact that it lasts a lot. So probably close to what they say in here. A thing that I really like, 10 years repairable. So Rowenta will make parts for this thing at least for 10 years. All products should be like this, so good on you, Rowenta, that you are starting to do this thing. Let me see what else. It can cut to minimum 0.5 millimeters. It works cordless, obviously, this is why I bought it, and also corded. So if somehow you forgot to charge it, you can still cut your hair while being plugged in, which is perfect. Washable blades. This it's a hair clipper. Why do? Yeah, it's for the hair. Yeah, maybe to show you which hair. Anyway, there's that. Standard blah 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 self-sharpening blades, most of them are now. It shows you the state of the charge, which is quite okay. It charges really fast. That's about that. Yeah, for 15 minutes trimming sessions, it lasts 8 trimming sessions. Anyway, and the most important thing, apart from being cordless, it goes from actually from 0.5 millimeters to 30 millimeters. So 29 hair sizes you can cut in 1 millimeter increments, and it actually has two combs, one from 3 to 16 and one from 17 to 30 millimeters. So that's quite a big range, and it's really useful in this weird world situation in 2020 and 2021 still. So let's go inside this box again. This is not a new product. I've been using this for a good while now, and I just feel like this needs to be put out there, that it's a cheap and really good product, and it does exactly what it says. So we have the charger and actually power adapter, because it works even corded. 5 volts 1 amp, so this can provide 5 watts. So this thing basically consumes maximum 5 watts, because it cannot consume more than you give it, obviously. Ta-da, this thingy. What do we have here? A little brushy brush to clean it, but honestly I rarely use it. You just use a bigger brush, it's much easier. And the two combs and manual and whatnot, but let's put that aside. And in here we have the adjustment mechanism for the comb itself, and it's honestly really cool. This is the bigger comb from 17 to 30 millimeters, and you can see a little arrow that is telling you at what you are set to cut. 17 millimeters now from the blade to the bottom, and you simply rotate this thing. Hopefully I can do it with one hand, and you should see this thing adjusting, but it's really hard for me to do it, but it is obviously adjusting. So that's the way it works. And if you need to change the combs or insert them for the first time, if they are not inserted, you go when insert is directly at the arrow, and then you can pull this thing out, and it has a really nice cock down there, which engages with this right here. So it's quite steady, and it has these grooves on the side which engage with this. So once this thing is on, it's there to stay. And to put it back on, you simply put it here and start rotating this thing and move it to whatever you need. If you need to see any info about the model, which is a TN5200, here it is. 5 volt 1 amp. And this is the other comb, which is basically the same thing but from 3 to 16. And for 0.5 you simply get this thing off, and now you are cutting at 0.5. And as far as I remember, these are removable, so simply push on them right here. Yes, and we do have hair, so if you don't like that, don't watch. This has been used and it should have been cleaned also on the inside, my bad. And here we have an eccentric, as you can see, whole metal, which goes into this area right here, which is plastic, and basically moves the blades like this from one side to the other. That little eccentric right there. Hopefully you can see it. So yeah, to put this thing back, if I could actually do it with one hand, but I doubt I can do it with one hand. Yeah, let me go and clean it if I already opened it up. Be back in a second. Okay, so to lock this thing back in place, we have this right here, which actually go into the case on the lower part right there. And then we have this thing right here, come on camera focus, which latches onto the metal spring itself. And yeah, make sure that this middle is at least a bit aligned with the pin down there, to make sure that it goes easily in place. And yeah, basically I think I can actually do it with one hand if I'm a bit careful. It's like, come on for camera focus. So lock it in there, and once that's done, you just push on it and it's fully locked. And then let's put the smaller comb, for example, in. Start to make sure it's on the insert position, obviously. Start to push it. When you cannot push it anymore, start to rotate it. And at this point you are locked in place and you can adjust it to whatever you need. So this thing, it's quite good. Next I'm just going to show you a single fault that I found with it. The absolute only downside that I found to this thing is that sometimes a bit of hair gets stuck down in there, because as you can see, it basically, once it enters that area right in here, it cannot really escape in any direction. You need to shake it really well, or to extend it. Come on, extend. Yeah, cannot rotate it too well now. To extend it much more and make sure you get it out, and then go back to what you had previously set. But that does not happen extremely often, but I want to mention that sometimes it does. So yeah, there's that. Okay, and apart from that, honestly, this thing cuts really well. Let me show you something that I've had for maybe 10 years. This from Philips, and this is corded, so this doesn't have an accumulator inside. You need to have it plugged in when you are cutting your hair. This actually struggles less with thick and strong hair that I have, so there's that. This struggles less than this, so this has actually a bit more cutting power than this. Not much, but there is a bit of this difference, which is a bit weird. I expected something cordless to be weaker than this. It's a bit the other way around. Anyway, maybe advances in technology over the last years. Anyway, there's that. So this thing shows us how much it's charged, and yes, it will make a bit of noise now when I power it on. You can see the charge situation down there. We have 2 lines out of 3. Doesn't really make that much noise. And there it was just a small fault that I didn't push the button all the way in, and you could see it did not power on. First time I see that. Does not make much of a noise, but yeah, you can hear it, the obvious. This thing makes more noise. Let me try and quickly plug it in for me to show it to you. Any day now. Plug in, pluggy plug, no plug. Okay, pluggy plug plug. So a bit of a different noise. This makes a bit more noise. And this also works incredibly well, honestly, for all of these years. It's an, let me show you if you are interested in a corded one, QC5010 from Philips. And about the power, they are about the same. If you take 13 amps and multiply them with 0.4, you are at about 30 volts, sorry, 13 volts, geez, cannot talk. You are at about 5 watts probably. So in theory they have the same power, or at least power consumption. Forgot to tell you about this thing. It charges in 1.5 hours, and the cable from the adapter to this thing is about 1.2 meters. So if it's not charged, you are a bit limited by the length of this cable. You might need another extender or something to cut your hair. But again, if this is charged, it will last you whatever you are doing. Yes, and that's about it for this video. This thing does what it says, and it does it quite good, and it's quite cheap. So yeah, it doesn't have any weird features out there. This will not bake your bread, cut your cheese or whatever, but it will cut your hair, and quite easily and quite nicely. So that's about that for this video. Hope it helps somebody out there to make a decision. I would buy it again without hesitation. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. In which case, please give it a like, check out my other videos, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye.